Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by RFA Featherweight Ricky Musgrave. Ricky, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Ricky, you got a fight coming up January 9th at RFA 22. I'm just curious, since the holidays just ended, obviously we had New Year's, we had Christmas. How was training camp in preparation for this fight? I got to assume, since we're a week out from the fight, that training is pretty much over with, all the hard training at least, and you're just focused now on getting your weight down. So what was this training camp like, and how was it preparing for a fight with the holidays smack dab in the middle of your training camp?
You know, that's a great question, and I never really had a fight so soon after the holidays, and it was difficult, and I had to make a lot of sacrifices for the fight game, to my family and things like that, and because I know it's hard, and it's hard because you have to really balance your life well. Mm-hmm. You have to really think about, okay, when are the times I need to train, like an athlete, and just say, yeah, it's Christmas, but I still need to get in there and get a training partner or get this run on or whatever else, It is difficult. It's very difficult. And it's no different on anybody else, like my opponent,
right.
Alvin. I know he's dealing with the same stuff, so it's just, how well you can deal with your life and manage your athletic career with it, and it's difficult because you're thinking about Christmas shopping, you're thinking about, spending time with family when you can do that. You're thinking about, well, I can't, I have to be disciplined on my body with what I eat and things like that. So it's just, it's tough. It is tough.
Right.
But I did well. I feel like I did really well. I feel prepared. I feel like I made the right sacrifices, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this camp.
Right.
Actually, it's our gym. We had quite a few fighters with fights coming up, so it was good because a lot of fighters were in the gym, and so we had training partners, because we had this fight, the RFA fight, and then the week after there's another fight downtown, and so there's a lot of fighters in the gym during the holidays, and it's a lot of times it's not like that. A lot of times holidays come up and the gym's empty if you don't have a fight coming up, but a lot of fighters had fights, so it's good. It's positive.
Okay. That's good. Now, when exactly did you get the offer for this fight? Because I tried to look at some of the announcements RFA made about this card, and they don't really date back too long. I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks ago is when they first announced that they were having a card on January 9th. So I'm just curious, when exactly did you get the offer to fight Alvin Robinson?
I think I got it like 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 weeks out, 6 or 7, I think I signed the contract, but yeah, I didn't see as much promotion. More word of mouth, I think. Right. Is the big thing, and that's I don't worry about that stuff very much. So it is what it is. I try to promote it on my Facebook, and that's about it for me. And that's how I do it. I just, hey, I got to fight, and I don't worry about who's promoting the promotion or nothing. I just worry about myself, and that's it for me. Right.
Have you done much media in preparation for this fight? Because obviously the holidays kind of messed everything up, and I haven't really seen a lot of buzz about this card. So have you done a lot of media?
No, I don't do a lot of media myself. Like, this is probably the most I've done right here. Because I think that a fighter shouldn't worry about that, personally. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that, why am I worried about the media or worried about this or worried about that? I should be worried and focused on Alvin Robinson. I should not be focused on, promoting it or this or that. That's manager, that's promoter, that's other people. That's not me. I focus on the fight. And that's the way I feel about it. If a true fighter wants to fight, he doesn't worry about all the outside factors. That's other people that need to be doing that. So,
interesting. Because I Googled you, and I saw that you haven't done much media, so I was just curious about that. So, what I was alluding to earlier when I brought up the part about how you got this offer for this fight, what was your Thanksgiving like? Did you have to sacrifice for Thanksgiving, or were you able to indulge?
No, I could indulge it, and that was pretty far out. So,
Okay.
I mean, Thanksgiving I could eat whatever, just because it's so far out that it would, a cheat day is not going to affect me.
Okay. Now, you're still training out of Fight Factory. I guess now it's called Pariah MMA. Is that
That's right.
Is that the same place? Okay.
That's correct. With Drew Lawrence,
Right.
been there for years. I've been there for about 6 years, and loved every minute of it.
Now, refresh my memory. You were in the Army, and then when you got out of the Army, you went to Colorado and started fighting, or did you go to Kansas and start your MMA career? Because you're originally from that part of the...
I'm originally from Kansas. What I actually did, I was in the military for like 2005 to 2009.
Right.
And I'm a very frugal person, so I was like saving my money, and I was really wanting to travel and fight. So when I got out of the military, I actually traveled to Thailand for 6 months. I trained there and fought a few times, and then I traveled to Brazil and fought out of there. This year I only had one fight in Brazil. That was actually my first pro fight. It was in Brazil. Then when I got out of there, I came to Colorado, and I went to live with my brother, who lives in Colorado. And I found this gym while I was, living with my brother. And then, I liked the gym, and it's where I've been ever since. And so I moved into Colorado Springs and just been here training and consistently fighting. So
I see. Now, are all the normal names still hanging around the gym? The Ramiko Blackmans, the Justin Guthries, those kind of guys, are they all still around the gym? Do they all still train?
Yes, they are. Yep, Justin Guthrie, Ramiko Blackman, Scott Cleese, Joey, all Eisenbraw. All of them guys are there. I mean, we've been together for years. I mean, I think back in the day, and even before, actually, it's funny because I actually hit the gym up before Thailand, actually. I moved in with my brother. I trained with this gym for a few months, and then I went to Thailand. And when I came back, I was thinking, well, it's probably going to be a whole different crew, different people, blah, blah, blah. And when I came back, it was the same faces, the same people. And that's how I knew that, this is a good place to be, because people don't leave this gym when they find something special, something that fits them. And this gym fits me, and it fits all them, and we've been together for years, We got a lot of up-and-coming fighters, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're kind of underrated in some ways, and in other ways we're just now getting our start. So, it's a great gym. It's a great place, and Drew's done a phenomenal job with it, and, we love it to death.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, are there a lot of guys who are, veterans who are looking to, change up their training, or is it mostly guys who have been there since day one? Because like you just touched on, the faces that you saw a couple years ago, you said you had that little stop in the gym, and then you went away for a while, and then you came back, and all the names, all the faces were still there. Are they mostly guys who are homegrown that are training there, or are there guys who are veterans?
Yeah, they're all homegrown. I mean, these guys, walk in there with no experience, and, now it's 20 fights later, and you're still the same person with the same coach, same team, with the same training partners. That's how it's been in our gym. I mean, it's all been, nobody's walked in there and been like, 10, 15 fights, and I'm ready to train at your gym. I mean, you don't see that. It's mostly people walk in, they have no skills, they start training. Drew molds them and makes them into a fighter, and, we got several guys with a lot of fights in there, so it's good.
Mm-hmm. Is that his philosophy on coaching guys? He wants to work with them from day one, or is it just the way things have worked out?
Just the way things have worked out. I mean, anybody that wants to come to the gym is welcome to come. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's been a few that has trained at other gyms and stuff, but I just don't see. I mean, I think people that's what I mean by we're underrated. I think people look at our gym, and it's small. It's a small hole in the wall, and it's not very big, and they look at it, and they're just kind of like unimpressed,
Right.
But once you go in there and get rounds on a Wednesday or a Friday night, then it changes everything. They're like, oh, wow, these people can fight. Like, and a lot of people have done that. They've came in, and they've figured out, like, wow, these guys aren't there for the glory or the fame. they're here to fight, and we pride ourselves on that.
Right. Now, have you done a lot of cross-training since going back to Pariah, or have you just basically done all your training there?
I do all my training there. I don't do any cross-training, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't do any. I'm there 5 to 6 days a week training, so.
Mm-hmm. So this is a one-stop shop. You don't do your strength and conditioning at some other place. You don't do jiu-jitsu.
No.
Okay.
It's well-rounded. Drew has everything in there.
Oh, okay. I was just curious about that. Now, coming up on January 9th, you're going to be taking on Alvin Robinson. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
As a person, I think he's a great person. As an opponent, I think he's a great wrestler. He's had a lot of credentials. I mean, he's been in Bellator, he's been in UFC. Had the privilege to train with him one time about a year ago, I think, or so. And he's an athlete. He really is. I think that he's going to be something where I have to keep on my toes. I have to really defend the takedown. I have to watch, because he comes out, he throws a flurry, he goes in, and so I just have to be sharp. I just have to be on my game, play my game, and I think as long as I play my game, I have no problems and I perform. So I don't really worry about him too much as me. I worry about my performance and how I feel and how I act. Him, I understand his game. I understand, you watch his fights on YouTube and stuff, so I see it. I know what he is like, but it's not really him. It's me. Mm-hmm. I don't look at him and worry about him. I worry about me. Do I feel good? Can I defend the takedown? Can I defend, his punches? Can I defend? So that's, as an opponent, I think that basically, I just got to be on my game, be sharp, watch the takedown. If I get on bottom, I need to get up. I need to, that's basically how I need to look at it. How don't worry about him so much. Know what his skills are. Know his skills, but don't get too caught up in what's he going to do, and get more caught up in how do I feel and how do I look and what do I need to do as a fighter.
Right. Now, I think it's pretty obvious what his game plan is going to be. I think his game plan is, like in a lot of his fights, he wants to take you down, put you on your back, then mount you, start elbowing, start punching you, make you so uncomfortable that you give up your back, and then he locks up that rear naked choke, because he's done that time and time again. He's Mr. Rear Naked Choke in a way. You look at his finishing rate with that move, it's very high, and you look at his submissions that he's gotten in his career, and that's the one that he seems to like the best. Now, I know you said you don't focus a lot on what your opponents are going to do. You more focus on what you're going to do, but has it made it a little bit easier having that training experience in the past with him, and also kind of already knowing what he wants to do? Does it make it a little bit easier?
Not really. I don't know. We didn't train extensive or nothing. It's
right.
I don't think that training, that one day that we trained together, means anything really.
Right.
It just, I understand what he's going to do or what he wants to do. I understand that, and I just got to stay away and defend it before it happens. Is it basically, I can't let him play his game. I have to play my game. And that's basically how I feel with it. It just, that one day didn't show me nothing. As well as, and that I feel like that for him too. I trained with him one day. Do you think that he knows all kinds of things about me? Is it going to be any more than you can look on the internet and find out? No. It's a fight. It's just, you just got to go in there and you got to, play your game and make sure you don't play his. Is basically what it is.
Right. Now, has this been your philosophy on fighting all your career? Have you really only focused on what you're going to do and how you feel and what you're going to do in the fight, or is this a recent development?
Always a recent development. If you ask me in a year that question, then my philosophy will be different, because a fighter is consistently growing, and as a fighter grows, his philosophies change and everything else, and that's the glory of fighting, is that it's not a just a fight that you do every time. It's something that you grow as a person. As a person, you grow and you figure out things and you learn things, And that's what fighting is. You know, it's not something that you'll always stay stagnant. You're never going to stand still and sort of think, this is the only way, you know.
Right.
The only way that I know how to do it. No. It's something that you will learn time and time again, and you will grow as a person as you fight more and more. So.
Right. Now, how did this deal with RFA all come together? Obviously, you're a Colorado guy. They're putting on a show in Colorado. It makes sense for you to be on the card. But how did it all come together? Because I thought you were under contract with Bellator. You're 2-0 under their banner. I thought all things were good, but all of a sudden you're with RFA. So I guess what happened with Bellator, and how did this deal with RFA come together?
Well, what happened with Bellator is that they basically went to Kansas, and every time they went to Kansas, they looked for local Kansas fighters. So my manager, Leonard Theory, said, he hit him up and said, hey, he's from Kansas. So they had me on the show a year before. And then I fought, did well, and then, you know, they just said, well, thank you, and that was it. And then the next year they came back. I had one fight between the two fights in Bellator. Had another fight in Ohio, NWAS, I believe. And then I fought again in Bellator, and they basically said, you know, we really like you as a fighter, but we're not signing anybody at the moment. So with that being said, I was like, okay. And the RFA was like knocking on the door saying, hey, we'll take him. We'll throw him on our card. So, you know, of course, we got to keep fighting, got to keep going. So if Bellator don't want me, then of course I'm going to go to whatever's next. So I'm happy, though. I'm happy with RFA. I'm thrilled that they took me, you know. I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy there's opportunity, because there's been times in my career where there's no opportunity, where you've looked around and you're like, who wants to fight? And there's no offers on the table, and you're like, what do I do, you know?
Right.
And, you know, several guys in our gym have felt that, especially Ramiko. We've been trying to get him a fight forever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, and he's been training consistently and everything else, and that's the worst thing that a fighter can do, is just not get a fight, you know? If you're a true fighter and you're wanting to fight and you can't get one, I mean, that is the worst.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, I'm just thrilled that there's offers on the table. I'm thrilled that people want me, and so I'm so excited to fight for the RFA, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You bring up Ramiko Blackman, and he hasn't fought since he fought against Steve Carl at World Series of Fighting 1. That's how long it's been.
I know, and the thing about him is, I'm going to shout his name out, because he is a personal friend and a great training partner. And the thing about him is like, he was fighting people that are 170 pounds, and he was, you know, walking around at 170. He never had to cut weight. Mm-hmm. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, he's a boring fighter. Well, he's fighting guys that are huge, so he has to hold them down, and he's a lot stronger for his size. Well, now he's dropping to 55, and he's done it. He's done a test weight and dropped to 55 and everything, and his performance is ridiculous. His stand-up is ridiculous. He's one of the best training partners I have, you know. And you know, it's sad to watch him in the room and see how much he's improved, and then never see him fight. It's just sad.
Right.
And that's, you know, someday they'll get him a fight, but I mean, I hope somebody picks him up and has him fighting, because he's a ridiculously great athlete. You know, he's just an awesome athlete, and, you know, I just want to shout his name out, and hopefully somebody just wants to come in and swoop him up, because, you know, he's a 55er, and there's not going to be a lot of 55ers that are going to be, you know, stronger than him. He's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Right. I hope you're right. I hope somebody comes in soon and gets him, because I think he's a very talented fighter, and he's kind of running out of time in a roundabout way. You know, he's not. He's older, but
there's not a lot of people that old that man, he is just fast. He's faster than 35 pounders, 25. Like, he is fast, and his stand up is getting so good, and everybody looks at him like, oh, he's a boring fighter and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, his past history from fighting the big guys, the big 170 pounders. Wait till he drops to 55 and gets a fight. Man, it's going to be good. One of these days it will. I think it's going to happen And yeah, he doesn't need to be sitting on the shelf. He needs to be fighting.
Yeah. I hope it happens for him because I enjoy
too.
his fights. Because I'm one of those guys who when people say someone's boring, I enjoy watching them fight because I like to see people complain. Like this is a sport. Like if he wants to take you down and keep you down for 15 minutes, you got to learn how to take people down, or you need to learn how to sweep, or you need to learn how to get back to your feet. Like, come on. Like, enough.
You're 100% right, Mike. You really are. Because if he takes you down and you can't get up, that's up to you.
Yeah.
If you can't get up, that's on you. But
yeah,
he's a ridiculous athlete, and he still is at age 42 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he could still beat any 55er out there. I definitely believe that.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear that he's still active and still wants to fight, because I was getting worried.
He's active.
Yeah.
So he hasn't quit since that last fight. He hasn't, stopped training or nothing. He's been active the whole time.
Good to hear. Have to track him down one of these days. Hopefully he gets a fight soon, and I'll be talking to him. But I enjoy watching him fight. So, anyways, back to you, Ricky. I'm just curious. Now, is this a one-off with RFA, or have they given you a multiple fight deal?
No, this is just one-off again. Most of my fights are one-off. I don't know. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, people are just hesitant to give, contracts out. I think people are worried, so it's easier to do one-fight deals. And it doesn't necessarily bother me. One-fight deal is fine, as long as I get a fight,
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, are you a full-time fighter, or do you work a second job?
I do work a second job. I do. I grow medical marijuana. What I do here in Colorado.
Okay.
And I do it all legally. I work for a company, and I do that, and then in the evenings I train. But I don't smoke marijuana in my training camps or nothing like that. So I throw that out, and I don't want anybody to think that, I'm, a terrible person or nothing. I know it's a new industry and everything else, and the reason why I'm saying it is to promote the industry. I think that it's a great field for people who need it for medical use and everything else. Now it's become a recreational. It's the new thing, and, I'm not embarrassed of what I do, and I don't need to be, and I'm disciplined enough to know when I can and can use it, and I don't need to be, I really debated telling you that or not, and what it came down to is I don't need to be embarrassed.
Right.
That's all it is, so that's what I do, and it pays the bills, and then fighting then I don't have to worry about what I fight for, things like that. I don't have to think about, oh my goodness, if I lose this fight, then I can't pay my bills. I don't have to think that way. I can take my passion, and I can drive on.
I'm very curious about this. How'd you get your nickname, the Spazmanian Devil?
Well, Drew's a character, and it was my first fight in Colorado. And I got the dude in the first round, and it was just kind of, I don't know, my technique wasn't there, and I was just kind of, I had my cardio, though. So I was just running out there, throwing punches, whatever I could do. I was getting tossed on my neck, and I was, getting up, and just kind of like a Tasmanian devil. Mm-hmm. You got the Tasmanian devil. It has you look at it, you have the wind going in a circle, you can't see nothing. It's just a big old fight. And then I came out of the ring, and, he's like, oh, the Tasmanian devil over here. So, I just kept it. Tasmanian devil, just because I'm a pressure fighter. I go out, and I fight, and I have good cardio, so I just keep going and going. And then, I don't know. Tasmanian devil, I just don't wear down, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a great nickname, and it's got a great story, so it's great all the way around. And it's an original nickname.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's an original nickname. I like that. There's so many beasts out there. There's Bob Sapp's the beast, Dan Severn's the beast. Yeah. There's so many pit bulls out there. Everyone from Brazil, I guess, is the pit bull now, so keep it. It's a great nickname. It's original.
I'm I tried to change my name once, to the Mountain Man, and it didn't really work out real well. And I thought about it, and I was like, man, why would I change it? Spazmanian Devil fits me.
Yeah, keep that.
Yeah, just keep it.
Yeah,
keep it.
Yeah. I think it's a good one. So just stick with that one. Now, Ricky, do you have any sponsors that you want to shout out? Are there any sponsors you want to thank? And is there anything you'd like to say to the fans before I let you go?
Yeah, the only sponsor I have is Pariah MMA, gym in Colorado Springs, and anybody, all levels are welcome, and give a shout out to them. And that's it. I mean, my training partners, everybody who supports me, my fans, appreciate it. I'm just excited to be at this level where I'm kind of in between and the big stage and the smaller stages, and I'm just excited. I'm excited.
Ricky, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck January 9th at RFA 22 against Alvin Robinson.
Appreciate it.